Konnichiwa. Distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, let me give you a warm thank for the invitation to speak on behalf of the Norwegian Embassy here at the 5th Global Citizens Assembly in Nagasaki. This conference is an important reminder of the tragic events that took place in Japan those August days 68 years ago, and of the unprecedented human suffering the use of nuclear weapons brought upon men, women and children of Nagasaki, which was so strongly described by the atomic bomb survivor, Mr. Ikeda, earlier in this program. And moreover, it serves as a great example of how cities and local communities can join forces for a greater cause, that is, the total abolition of nuclear weapons. Here in Japan, the effects of nuclear explosions was experienced twice and is still present in many people's minds today. But attention and knowledge of the effects of nuclear weapons are arguably relatively low in many other countries around the world, and particularly among many young people. But nuclear disarmament and nuclear non-proliferation are issues of global concern. Any nuclear explosion, whether detonated intentionally by a state, or by terrorists, or as a result of an accident, would put our whole humanitarian response capacity under huge strain, and nuclear weapons represent a serious and broad security problem today. And this is why we should all like to see nuclear technology used solely for peaceful purposes. Ladies and gentlemen, while political circumstances have changed much in recent years, the destructive potential of nuclear weapons remains with us. It has rightly been said that since the end of the Cold War there has been a dramatic reduction in nuclear arsenals, but still tens of thousands of nuclear weapons remain in the arsenal of states, and there are legitimate grounds for asking whether it is necessary in today's world to maintain nearly 20,000 warheads. When the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty, the NPT, came into force in 1970, there were 5 nuclear states. Now, the number has nearly doubled. We all share a common interest in preventing new states from acquiring these weapons of mass destruction, and not least in ensuring that weapons of this kind and sensitive materials necessary for their development do not fall into the wrong hands. And combined with continued documented nuclear weapon accidents and the ever-present risk of nuclear theft or division, this means that the danger must be addressed. From a Norwegian perspective, our common security would be better served by moving towards and building a world without nuclear weapons. Ladies and gentlemen, since 2010, we have seen the humanitarian impact of nuclear weapons increasingly being recognized as a fundamental and global concern that must be at the core of our deliberations regarding nuclear disarmament and non-proliferation efforts. This is fully in line with the NPT Review Conference in 2010, where the humanitarian consequences of use of nuclear weapons was one of the issues raised at the conference. In the outcome document of the conference, the participant countries clearly expressed, and I quote, deep concern at the catastrophic humanitarian consequences of any use of nuclear weapons, and moreover emphasize the duty of all countries to comply with their obligations under international law, including international humanitarian law. In March this year, Norway hosted a conference in Oslo on the humanitarian impact of nuclear weapons. The aim of the conference was to be an arena for a fact-based discussion on the humanitarian and developmental consequences of nuclear weapon detonation. The objective of the conference was to facilitate an informed discussion on these issues with stakeholders from states, the UN and other international organizations and civil society. A total of 128 states attended, as well as the United Nations organizations, the International Committee of the Red Cross and Red Crescent movement, and civil society. The broad and active participation at the Oslo conference reflected the recognition that the catastrophic effect of nuclear detonation is an issue of concern and relevance to all. The consequences of nuclear detonation are relevant to practitioners in different fields such as health service, development, environment, finance, and emergency preparedness. However, so far there has been no arena in which to discuss these encompassing perspectives. The conference in Oslo was held over 2 days and included presentations by international experts and other relevant national and international stakeholders concerning 3 key aspects. First, the immediate humanitarian impact of nuclear detonation. 2, the wider and more long-term developmental, health and environmental consequences. And 3, preparedness, including plans and existing capacity to respond to this type of disaster. The conference heard presentations from a wide range of experts on the various effects of nuclear weapons detonations, including very valuable presentations from Japanese participants, in particular from Dr. Komodo. 3 key points were discerned from the presentations and discussions. 1, it is unlikely that any state or international body could address the immediate humanitarian emergency caused by nuclear weapons detonation in an adequate manner and provide sufficient assistance to those affected. Moreover, it might not be possible to establish such capacities, even if it were attempted. Second key point that came out from the conference was that the historical experience from use and testing of nuclear weapons has demonstrated their devastating immediate and long-term effects. While political circumstances have changed, the destructive potential of nuclear weapons remains. And the third key point coming out of the conference was that the effects of nuclear weapon detonation, irrespective of cause, will not be constrained by national borders and will affect states and people in significant ways, regionally as well as globally. Nuclear detonations affect future generations' health, food security, and vital natural resources, and ample socio-economic development. The conference established in concrete terms what catastrophic humanitarian consequences mean and implies. Ladies and gentlemen, there can be no doubt that a highly credible disarmament regime is essential if we are to achieve a world without nuclear weapons. However, multilateral efforts in nuclear disarmament maintains, however, plagued with a long-standing stalemate. We are all familiar with the current situations of the Conference on Disarmament in Geneva, which prevents us from moving forward as recommended by the NPT review conferences in 2010. And it is also a paradox that the Comprehensive Test Ban Treaty, which is supported by more than 150 state parties, is unable to enter into force. There is therefore considerable impatience regarding how multilateral nuclear disarmament can move forward. While countries share the overall objective of achieving a world without nuclear weapons, countries continue to disagree on what we should do to reach this common goal. Despite different views on how and when, an example, a convention should or could be negotiated, there are a number of measures that could be taken to enhance our common security. We therefore remain staunch supporters of all initiatives that put nuclear disarmament and non-proliferation to the forefront. Let me just mention briefly a few of those. I talked about the NPT Review Conference in 2010. In 2010, at the Review Conference, an action plan was adopted. I think it was 64 points that the state parties have to work on till the next conference in 2015, and this is a matter of urgency. We must also continue to accelerate efforts in reducing existing arsenals and take steps to hinder the development of new generation of nuclear arsenals. So we welcome bilateral measurements, disarmament measurements such as the START agreements, and also welcome President Obama's speech in Berlin last June, where he highlighted the need for further disarmament initiatives, which also could include all categories of nuclear weapons. In addition to accelerate the efforts to reduce existing arsenals, steps must be taken to hinder the development of a new generation of nuclear arms. And furthermore, we should continue to put our efforts to further reduce the role of this category of weapon in security policy and doctrines. We welcome last year's decision at the General Assembly to set up a group of governmental experts responsible for further negotiations of what they call a fissile material contact treaty. I think a ban against the production of this fissile material for weapons use would send a strong message that the role of nuclear weapons in security policies must be significantly reduced, and it would further consolidate a non-proliferation regime. Depending on the introduction of the fissile material contact treaty, we also urge all nuclear weapon states to adopt a moratorium to the production of fissile material for military purpose. And it is also essential to reinforce the norm against nuclear testing. And that is why Norway, among many countries, have condemned the nuclear and missile tests carried out by DPRK. And let me also mention the nuclear weapons-free zones and the importance of consolidating the existing nuclear weapon-free zones and supporting the creation of new zones. A highly credible non-proliferation regime is also of essence if we are to move forward, and it is thus of great importance that the IAEA is given the necessary political and financial support from its member countries to carry out its mandate. Let me then come back to the humanitarian effects. The humanitarian effect of nuclear weapons is a matter of concern for all UN member states. For too long, the nuclear weapons issue was reduced to a question of state security. And it is, of course, but with a unique ability to disrupt all life on Earth, it is as much a question of world security. And with their colossal and indiscriminate effects, nuclear weapons are also a question of humanitarian security. In that regard, we do hope the humanitarian engagement will contribute to real progress on nuclear disarmament. Norway, like Japan, firmly subscribes to the goal of a world free of nuclear weapons, and we continue to work towards the realization of this goal. And of course, Japan also has not only exceptional experience, but also very considerable knowledge to contribute on the humanitarian consequences of the use of these weapons. Civil society also plays a crucial role in this effort. Were nuclear weapons ever to be used again, by states, by non-state actors, or as a result of an incident or miscalculation, it would affect us all. And so it must be the responsibility of all to contribute to their eventual elimination. Towards this goal, it is important to keep the humanitarian effect of nuclear weapons on the agenda. And it is therefore vital that all UN member states, both nuclear weapon states and non-nuclear weapon states, take part in that discussion. And we are very pleased that the number of states expressed during the Oslo conference expressed an interest in further exploring these issues and broaden the discourse on humanitarian impacts of nuclear weapons. And in that regard, I would also like to welcome Mexico's offer to host a follow-up conference in February next year on this topic. And this conference will address the long-term consequences of nuclear detonation and the level of preparedness needed to respond to such catastrophe. Moreover, we are very pleased that the recent joint statement issued at the UN Nations General Assembly's First Committee by New Zealand on behalf of 170 countries, including Norway and Japan, on the humanitarian consequences of nuclear weapons, demonstrates the political will among a wider number of countries concerning these matters. To conclude, ladies and gentlemen, the goal must be clear. No more Hiroshimas, no more Nagasaki. Our challenge is how to get there. And we must all contribute. My government will continue to work towards this goal and look forward to continued and fruitful collaboration with Japan. Let me finally again thank the organizing committee of Nagasaki Global Citizens Assembly for inviting us here to this conference, and I wish you fruitful and productive discussions throughout the next 2 days. Arigatou gozaimasu.